Hello, my name is Gauri Bandre and I am first year LLB student of Delhi University. So my topic for today is extrajudicial killing and police misconduct. Extrajudicial killing and police misconduct has been an issue of concern for several years now in India, right from the start of Sikh extremism to the Naxal encounters and now of several encounters which we have witnessed in the last year. What is at stake is not one or two incidents happening around us, but the worrisome pattern which has been back in reality and is arising out of the whole system and function. It refers how the police uses its power assigned to them by the Constitution of India to violate an individual's right. But what is more disturbing is that how this trend has become a way of life now in India. Today, I would like to talk about uh, an issue related to this topic, like what are the causes of it and what are the laws related to encounter. Second, what is the role of judiciary and what we can do, or as we call it, a way forward from this issue. So there are several reasons which is related to this topic and is the cause of this issue. First and foremost would be that of public support. In the case of Hyderabad gang rape encounter, uh, which was witnessed by us in last year, we have seen how much support it has received by the public itself, even after the means of delivering the justice was wrong, still public was supporting it by going out of their way. Many officers which were involved in this encounter were appreciated, and many ministers were seen gratifying them and appreciating them on TV and off camera as well. So, what is the reason behind receiving so much of public support? I would say that the main reason would be the lack of faith in judiciary. Because of the backlog of judiciary and the late delivery of justice or denial of it, people see judiciary more or less like an hurdle in delivering justice quickly than an aid, which should be changed. Second is that of public nexus. So the politicians' relation with the police is also concerning. We have seen politicians and police working hand in hand, and at times when the politicians are pressurizing police to work in a certain way, in return the police are asking favors from the politician to cover up their trails in such incidents. So this is also a concerning issue because this affects the whole system in process. Third would be that of the hero worship. Now, again, after this, such incidences, and that of Vikas Dubey as well, when the police encountered the gangster, people were celebrating it as a festival. Like literally, the TV channels were also appreciating the people involved in this process. The CMs and everybody were being appreciated. But was that the right form to deliver justice? Is what we need to question. Because of this, not because of this, we would think that the gangster was, killed and the justice was delivered to many people who he harassed. But no, in reality, the he was connected to many ministers and many people in power. He would have opened a new chapter and he would have opened new realities. But before that, it was being closed. Next would be that of inaccessibility to constitutional court. Now there are many remedies which are provided by the Supreme Court, High Court, NHRC, the State Commission, which has been formed to deliver or address such kind of incidents. Still, uh, they are inaccessible to the common people. At times, it is also difficult to prove such cases which need solid proof. uh, there are many issues like people can also face police brutality and blackmailing and that kind of stuff, so people fear to come up front in front of judiciary, etc. Next would be ineffective institution. Now again, in this issue, the picture of judiciary comes in front of us, where we expect them to deliver justice in a speedy way. At times, it is very much needed because, see, when a person is suffering, it is it is very much needed for us to address his issue. He expects something from us, after uh, but as we see, in reality, the judicial system is very lengthy procedure. It needs time, it needs to work on certain cases in a certain way, and that denies justice. So the ineffective of institution is also the main cause why the police are taking matters in their own hand. Rewards is a element which is now backfiring towards us, because it was made to motivate them and to direct them in a certain pathway which will be morally and ethically correct. But now, as we can say that it is not in reality happening, police are for getting rewards, for getting promotions, they are unnecessarily killing people. At times, they are also not bothered to give a good reason behind it. In 2018, it was observed that around 22 people were killed. 22 people were killed. I don't remember the policeman's name, but it was observed that in all the cases there were same reasons which were given by him. So in such in such happenings, they are not even bothered to give a particular reason or to address why they have done what they have done. So this is also a harsh reality and a very sad situation what we are facing. There are next I would like to jump upon what are the laws which deal with encounters. To name a few would be Section 100 of IPC 1860, which authorizes any person to exercise his right of private defense, which may extend to causing death if there is reasonable apprehension in the mind of the person that there exists a threat to life or limb. Next would be that of Section 46 of CPC 1973. It permits a police officer to use all means necessary to effect the arrest of the person. Next is Section 300 of IPC. It provides that culpable homicide is not murder if the offender, being a public servant acting for the advancement of public justice, exceeds the power given to him by law and causes death by doing an act which he is in good faith believes to be lawful and necessary for the discharge of his duty, and without ill will towards the person whose death is caused. Also, the next point that I would like to jump upon is of the judiciary. The apex court has been seen interfering in this issue and have been putting out strict guidelines to be followed, but still we see that it is not enough to curb the reality of the situation, because nothing has been following on ground. There are guidelines which are set up by the High Court, by the Supreme Court, as well as the National Commission, State Commission, but still there are no effective implementations of it. So, there are many precedents as well which are given by the Supreme Court in same realities, where same situations and encounters were seen, but still I don't see any significant change or seriousness in that whole process of it. After the Prakash Singh versus Union of India 2006 case, there were certain guidelines which were put out by the Supreme Court, which were must be followed before any arrest or any encounter by the police officers. But in reality, again, it's not the case. The implementation is lacking a lot. There are also several NHRC guidelines which are uh, put out to be followed. Now, in this whole process, how can we tackle this situation? First is we should focus on implementation more rather than making more guidelines, because again and again there are committees being set up, there are people working on guidelines or how we can change this, how we can change that. Rather than doing that, I think we should focus on how we can implement those guidelines which are well established by our institutions. Second would be sanctions. Sanctions must be imposed, and the monetary penalties should be imposed on the district level. So, here in this case, not only one person should be held accountable, but the whole system who is in into this thing, into this encounter, should be actually held accountable. Next would be that of police reform. Police reform is what is needed now. We have been seen talking about this issue a lot, but in reality, we lack in making such reforms. So now I think it's time for us to work on the reforms. Fourth would be independent investigation. Independent investigation and timely independent investigation should be established to tackle this issue. The the body who is to be investigated should have the power to go thoroughly to the all the proofs which are being presented, and also should have the uh, autonomous authority to investigate by their own, so they are not dependent on any other forms. Because when we are tackling with such issues like police misconduct, many forces are involved in this, and if the authority is not independent enough, again they need to, it is going to get corrupt in some or the other way. Fifth would be that of judicial infrastructure. The It is necessary for us to increase the funds of judiciary, to improve its infrastructure, to fasten the delivery of justice system. This is how we are going to regain the trust of commoners and of the citizens. So yeah, this is what I think would be the best, how we are going to uh, how we can tackle with such issues. Here I would like to conclude by saying that before even questioning any authority, or before even questioning anything, we should ask ourselves as a citizen that if we are seeing something like this, like the heroism, or how people are seeing appreciating the police involved in this matter, we should ask ourselves, is this the correct form to deliver justice, and is this the way to go forward? Because if we are going to support it now, it is going to continue now or in future, and then this issue is going to just get worse and worse. And